Hey YouTube, how's it going? Okay, well, I trimmed the left side a little bit more, and I also trimmed the middle. I'll go over today on exactly what I trimmed and what I am designing, so that way you can have an idea of what I'm doing. I gave it a good trimming. I also noticed that a lot of the plants are they're not doing too good. They're not dying, but as far as the fact that I didn't fertilize for over a month definitely affected them. It's a lot of decaying leaves, a lot of stems with no leaves, and a lot of plants that's just very weak. Some are to the point where they're almost dead. But throughout this process, throughout the videos and the series, you'll be able to see the bounce back in the plants and how they get either greener or red. There's going to be more color, obviously more vibrant. You're going to see them healthier, a lot more leaves, and throughout the trimming you're going to see new leaves come in, a lot healthier leaves, a lot fuller. Anyhow, what I did was on the left side, I started designing it. So if you notice down at the bottom right here, the rotella, I dropped it a little bit lower. This eventually, what I'm going to do with it is going to be a carpet. It's going to probably be like anywhere between ½ inch to an inch tall. Right now, I don't know if you can tell on the video, but it's a good 3 inches, 4 inches tall. I don't want to trim it down to the point where I drop it down to ½ inch to an inch now. I don't want to shock the plant, and I want it to have leaves as well. So I'm going to take it slow, and then all the other plants behind it, I drop them as well in a step. But I'll give you my my concept as far as the design of what I'm doing right now. On the bottom, right here, this is going to be low. Then you have the plant right behind it. That's going to be more of like the middle over here. Then you got these, which are broader leaves. That'll be more around this height. And then you have the temple, the red temple, which will be on the top. If you look at some of my earlier videos, the red temple, when I moved them to the back, they were down in a triangle, you know, down in a slope. That's what I'm going to do with them again. Unfortunately, being that I didn't fertilize for over a month, if I get close, you start to see the temple. It lost a lot of its leaves, and the leaves that are on there now, if you can't tell, you know, there's a lot of damage on the leaves, a lot of old leaves with holes, a lot of deficiencies as far as potassium and iron in the plant. Really took a beating, and I got to change the bulbs in the back as well. They're pretty much done. So the light is not helping, but I started fertilizing. I've been fertilizing the Aquabutyl line, like I told you before, and today I added root tabs. I added the blood meal root tabs on there. So, but as far as trimming, I trimmed the rotella in the middle. I gave that a really good trimming, trimmed it back. I'm going to lean that out a little bit more. You're going to see in here, it's going to get tighter to the middle, and then this is going to be also on top. I'm going to bring it higher to the top. So this will be a lot thinner, and this will be a lot thinner here as well. In the design that I'm doing, the rotella, once it's nice and healthy and it's growing, it gets very red. So when this one down here that I have, which is actually the clipping from this one, when I plant it here, and I have like a little bush effect going here, that eventually you'll have a lot of orange and red on the new growth. Plant right behind it, it's always going to stay green. It'll actually get nice and dark. You have some reds with the leaves on the bottom of these are red and the top are green. It's a nice contrast. You got the Italian valve at the very end on the edge. I got a lot of new growth in that, so I'm going to just bring that to the edge. Once it starts growing again nice and healthy, it'll get full. And then again, like I said, in the back, I have part of it all the way in the corner, in the back, and coming towards the middle, I have the red temple, which there is a ton of new growth down on the bottom. So I'm not worried. Within a month, you'll actually see all that new growth. You see it back there. All that new growth will come up to the top. Brand new leaves, stems, healthy. And then I have my see the plant? I don't know if you can see it back there. You got the I can't remember that name right now, that plant. Bacopa. Yeah, the Bacopa's in the back. Now all this is gonna come down, you know. So it'll be a certain height, and then you have the Bacopa all the way in the background coming up from the back. So you have different contrasts as far as leaves, colors, different heights, and you'll all start to see that coming through all the later videos. The Bacopa as well, if you look on the bottom, you can see through there, the Bacopa on the bottom is nice and healthy. When I changed the bulb in the back, and now that I added the root tabs, and I'm also fertilizing liquid ferts, all that'll start to come up again. When I trimmed this back, it's letting a lot of light back in, and it was the shading of the plants was not helping. Underneath, which I'm trying to create like an umbrella effect, underneath you see the Java fern. That doesn't matter if it's shaded. Java fern grows obviously no light, so any light it gets is just a positive, and it's gonna grow no matter what. It's actually pretty healthy. The only thing is I have a potassium deficiency throughout the whole entire tank. I don't know if you can see the fern right now. There's just brown spots all over it. There's a little bit of algae on the older leaves, and you could tell that there's just a lot of deficiency in my plants right now. The Temple's actually doing pretty good. Broadleaf Temple is probably the healthiest plant in here. And the water wisteria is very thin. In this plant, when you trim it down low, it gets really thick. I haven't done anything to this side of the tank. I haven't trimmed it at all. I basically ended here, and this is going to get trimmed a lot more. These are all going to start being dropped again until I get it to the height where I want them and let them fill up. But I want to do it in stages because I don't want to shock the plants. But again, I've been adding liquid ferts through the Aqua Vitra line and the Seachem potassium in the Flourish line, and then I also did the root tabs this week. So you'll see in the next videos, within the next week or so, everything will start to bounce back. I'm going to order new bulbs for my, I have T5s, HO, the back are fluorescent, and in the front, these are LED floods. These and the two in the back, this is a 4 bulb fixture. These two are 6500 Kelvin. So are these, all these 4. And then in the middle, which is what's lit right now, is a 3500 Kelvin light bulb. And both the 35 and the 65 of the T5 fluorescents need to be changed. They're past 6 months and they're no longer giving the plant the spectrum it needs. So, but anyhow, just wanted to show you what I've done so far, an update. I really would like your comments. Tell me what you think about the tank, how it's coming out. I'm also going to go over all my equipment. I've been thinking about it, and just want to know what you guys think. I'm going to go over everything I have as far as lighting, filtration, the CO2, I'm going to break down the CO2 because the CO2, I have a meter that controls the CO2. It keeps it at a certain pH, and then once that pH drops or rises, it shuts off the CO2. So, and everything's on a timer. All my lights are on a timer. My CO2 is also on a timer. I run oxygen through air stones at night. That's also on a timer. And the 2 different spectrum of lights are on a different timer. So I'm going to go over all the coming up videos. I'll do a series on all the equipment. I think the next series I'm going to really do, though, it's going to be the fertilizers, as far as the root tabs and the liquid ferts. And I want to break down each individual bottle that I showed you, where it helps the plants as far as the chemical breakdown of it, how the plant absorbs it, whether it absorbs it through the roots, the leaves, the stems, and what are the pros to the actual fertilizer that we're adding. Also, you can't add all the fertilizers at the same time. You have to add them individually because one chemical can lock out the other chemical. I'll go over that. So my next step is going over, after we do the design, is going over after the different type of fertilizers you should use in the substrate plus in the water column, and why, and to what plants, and what are the benefits to that. To be honest with you though, the fact that I haven't fertilized in over a month, I didn't realize until I started trimming the healthiness of the plants. There's a lot of deficiency in my tank right now. It might look like they're healthy, but I'm glad I just did it in a month and not any longer than that, because I would have started losing plants. But the good thing is you guys will be able to see now the difference between a plant tank that's being fertilized and not being fertilized. You can see that I have a heavy bio load with the fish. There's a lot of fish in this tank, and that's been helping. But you need to fertilize. You need to fertilize, guys. And we'll go over different fertilizers. When I go over the equipment, I'm also going to talk about. I want to basically do a series as well on how to start up a planted tank, and what are the most important things to starting up a planted tank, and what you need to succeed in a planted tank. And as you see, I have different colors of plants, and my plants do not lose their red. They stay red all the time. So, plus I also want to do a series on algae and how to combat algae. And you can do it different ways. One of the ways I do it is I don't do a water change. I just add RO water from my local fish store, and I got different type of shrimp. But you can see one of the Amano shrimps right there right now. I also have the algae eaters, which you see right there, and right behind them are 2 plecos. One that just swam away, that was the my albino long fin Bristol nose, and this is the biggest male I have in the tank right now. He's just a regular Bristol nose. If you see right there, there's another Amano shrimp. And I also have a couple, maybe like 2 or 3, I think they're still in here, of cherry shrimp. But there's a lot of things I do. I also have auto sinklets. I don't know if you could see them in the back over there. You see one right there. That also help keep the tank clean. So stay tuned, guys. Subscribe if you like this.